Let's get some more with GP Dr Nikita Kanani, who joins me now. She's also the former Medical Director of Primary Care for NHS England. Dr Kanani, really good to see you here on the UK tonight. As pointed out in Thomas's report there, the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine was helpful for so many people, but 51 cases have now been lodged in the High Court, with victims and grieving relatives seeking damages estimated to be worth up to £100 million. Families are concerned, but the key word here is that these serious side effects are rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, Sarah Jane, and thanks for having me. First of all, the story that we just heard, Jamie and his family, I mean, what a truly difficult time that they've had, and the other complainants. I mean, it's a really challenging space to be in when, as we heard on the programme, you're asked to take a vaccination to protect yourself and to protect your loved ones. But that is very much where we were. If we can take ourselves back to the end of December 2020 and the beginning of 2021, we were still very much locked down in our own homes with no real possibility of getting back to doing the things that we loved as families, as communities, in the workplace. So, importantly, vaccines did offer us hope, and they continue to offer us hope. Our ability to get people vaccinated as quickly and as safely as possible meant that the country could reopen. It meant that we could get back to seeing people that we loved in a way that many of us had missed. But equally, as Thomas mentioned, the ability for vaccination to offer a sort of social pact or social contract is important. Trust in vaccines is incredibly important, and these side effects are very rare, as you say. So there's an important message here. Continuing to get vaccinated when asked to do so is important, but learning from vaccinations and vaccination programs is also critically important too.
It's about finding a causal link, isn't it? And of course, this is an ongoing court case. Jamie Scott is claiming that the vaccine gave him these side effects. That hasn't been proven. AstraZeneca are strongly denying. But how easy is it to find a causal link in a vaccine for an extreme side effect? Because, is the risk any greater with a COVID vaccine than it is any other vaccine you may take for an illness or a disease?
It's a really good question, Sarah Jane. I mean, all vaccine, and in fact, all therapies are monitored very closely. There's a yellow card system in this country where if somebody does get a potential side effect from a medication or a vaccination or really any other intervention, the clinician fills out a form and those side effects are followed up, and that data is then looked into and researched. Obviously, some of the COVID vaccinations are newer in the sense that they were newer to the population. But there was a huge amount of research done and testing done before the vaccinations were rolled out. So what we have to do now is make sure that we really do learn from these incidents, understand what's been happening, and make sure it informs how we roll out programmes in the future as well.
So what would you say to families who are concerned watching Thomas's report this evening?
I think, first of all, we've seen that the very vast majority of vaccinations have been truly incredibly well received. This was the reason that we're back to doing the things that we love in a way that I don't think many of us imagined in 2020. So the vast majority of vaccinations are completely safe, and if you're being called forward for a vaccination, no matter what age you are, what stage of life, please do come forward. You can always speak to a healthcare professional if you're worried, but the most important thing is to maintain our immunity. And that goes for many of the vaccinations that we have and that we do for our children when they're growing up as well. We saw a peak in the number of children having measles and mumps last year. We don't want to see that again. So it's really important that vaccinations are taken up when they're offered.
OK, Dr Nikita Kanani, really good to see you again on the UK Tonight. Thank you for your time.